What languages were spoken during the migration period? Have you ever wondered what languages filled the air during the migration period? This time, roughly from the 4th to the 7th century after Christ, was a fascinating chapter in history. It was a time of movement and change, especially for the Germanic tribes. These tribes played a huge role in shaping the languages spoken across Europe. At the heart of this linguistic shift were the Germanic languages. Initially, these languages were quite similar, forming a unified group in northern and northwestern Europe. But as tribes like the Alemanni, Burgundians, Visigoths, Franks, and Saxons migrated and settled in new lands, their language began to change. This led to different dialects emerging. Early forms of Old English, Old Frisian, Old Low Franconian, and Old High German started to take shape during this period. In the western parts of the former Roman Empire, Vulgar Latin was the main language spoken by the Romanized populations. As Germanic tribes settled in these areas, Vulgar Latin began to evolve. This evolution eventually gave rise to the early Romance languages. For instance, in Gaul, which is now modern-day France, the Frankish language influenced what would later become Old French. Moving to the Eastern Mediterranean and Asia Minor, a variety of languages were still in use. Greek remained a key language of administration and culture in the Eastern Roman Empire, also known as the Byzantine Empire. In Asia Minor, languages like Phrygian and Galatian, a Celtic language, were still spoken but began to fade over time. By this period, Armenian had emerged as the dominant language in its region, developing its own literary tradition. Aramaic continued to hold importance as a religious and literary language in parts of the Near East. Even as Christianity spread, Aramaic maintained its significance in religious texts and practices. From the Roman perspective, Latin was still the official language of administration and law in the Western Empire until it fell. In the East, Greek was the dominant language. The arrival of Germanic speakers brought new languages into the territories once controlled by Rome, challenging the linguistic unity that had existed. The migration period was a time of rich linguistic diversity. Germanic languages were rapidly changing due to the movements of tribes. Vulgar Latin was evolving into early Romance languages under the influence of these Germanic groups. Greek remained a dominant force in the Eastern Roman Empire, while local languages like Armenian, Phrygian, and Galatian continued to be spoken in their regions. Aramaic also persisted as a language of religion and literature. This period marked a significant transformation in the languages of Europe, reflecting the shifting political and cultural realities as the Roman Empire fragmented and new powers emerged.